8.5 million has gone missing. Not in one big dramatic heist, but quietly, over time, inside a business that thought everything was under control. I'm Indiana, and this is Dave, and we've turned this into an interactive fraud prevention challenge. So you can see if you'd catch what most companies miss. Dave, should we jump right into it?
I think that would be a great place to start, Indiana.
Fantastic. So I'm pretty excited to see if people can figure out who. It's kind of like a whodunit, but a little bit sleeker, right?
The interesting thing about this case, Indiana, is that we started developing this a couple of months ago now. And in the meantime, we've had a case which is almost identical to what's in this case come up.
Manifestation, perhaps, maybe not. I don't know. So let's just tell everyone how they can take part in this. They need to go to the Forensic Restitution website, forensicrestitution.com, and you'll see the missing 8.5 million case. So this is the investigation portal.
So this case is a fictional case. It's completely made up by us. But as I say, it's amazing how close it is to reality. So in this particular case, we got a phone call to say that something didn't look right with the figures. And when we went in and started investigating, we realized that a lot of money had gone missing, probably around about 8.5 million that had suddenly disappeared off the balance sheet. But it wasn't something which had happened in one big hit. It wasn't a wire fraud where 8.5 million went out. It was just a lot of small amounts that didn't make sense. So there's obviously no obvious signs of theft. The interesting thing is that this went through 2 audit cycles before we got called. The first audit cycle wouldn't have picked up that there was a fraud because it was a fairly small amount. But the second audit cycle really should have picked up that there was a fraud that was going on because the amounts had grown dramatically. The company, however, is still doing pretty well, and bonuses were paid and the operations continued. In other words, it's what happens at a lot of companies. Nothing looked wrong. So
And I
we
think
want to
with
get
that,
investigation.
let's get into it, Daves. In partnership with the ACFI, let's start the investigation. So if you log in over here, you're going to get your dashboard. And this is where you're going to read a little bit about your case. You're going to read about Aurora Renewables, a little bit about mid-market infrastructure company focused on EV charging and solar installation, and a whistleblower triggered a forensic review after concerns about irregular and financial patterns. Dave, you want to take us through how we are going to be investigating this case?
So what we've got is this case will run over a period of 6 weeks, and each week we'll be giving a new set of clues out. And basically, after each clue, you can say, who do you think were the parties that were involved in that clue, or who looks most likely to have been able to affect the outcome. So if we go to week 1 discovery, for instance, and we go, well, let's first of all see our members. We've got Ethan Cross. If you go down, it's the CEO of the company. Maya Patel is CFO of the company. And we've got a whole bunch of other guys and girls who are all part of the company.
And if anyone wants to know a little bit more, Dave, they can just click on the profile and they can go and have a little look through each of the suspects. Maya, for example, we're not going to go through all of them today. She's the gatekeeper of financial truth. Every number flows through her office. You check out her access level, behavior indicators. So you can just go and have a look through those, the suspect profiles, right?
And there are clues within those suspect profiles. Let's be honest, all of these people have motive and they have meaning. So it's not any one person who definitely would be the one who's done it. But if you read through all of the profiles, you'll see that all of them are above board in inverted commas, but all of them also a little bit lax in the systems. I think that would probably be the best way of describing it.
So let's talk about the clue archive.
So in the clue archive, you can well, first of all, you can have a look at your clues. So if we go down a little bit further, we'll see that debt growth without distress. And if you click on that, it will give you a background as to what it is, and then it will give you your investigator's findings at the bottom. So if you go down to your investigator's findings,
Oh, this is very clever.
it says, who do you actually suspect as based on this particular clue? Now, this is important because as you fill in who you suspect in terms of this particular clue, it will then start appearing on the pattern board, and we'll get to the pattern board just now.
So I'm gonna click around here quickly, Dave. Who should I click on? Who do
I
you?
think
I'm
Mayor's probably
feeling.
the right. I think Mayor's the right one on this one.
I'm
No,
thinking
not.
Ethan.
I
How about
think Mayor.
Jenna? Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. We have clicked her. And
Okay, so
then
and then you're able to declassify other clues that have come about.
I
So here we've
see.
got a best cluster information, and if you click on the down arrow on the vendor cluster, you will see a whole lot of additional information on the vendor cluster. And again, it will ask you, who do you suspect is who in terms of this clue would be the person you suspect. And then this one, I'm going to go for Ethan.
Ethan. I've got a gut feeling.
And then
Okay, so it
if you,
seems like there's only three. So there's 3 clues per week, right, Dave, where you've got to make your guess.
and there are only 3 clues per week, and at the end of each week, we'll release a new set of clues. And now if you go to the pattern board,
I think this is my favorite part, actually. Oh, okay.
based on what we've put in so far, so who you think are the people who are most likely involved, you'll see that Mayor's there, Ethan's there, and we've got somebody else down at the bottom. I've forgotten who we clicked as the third one, Mark.
We've got a Mark Feldman. I think I clicked him in clue 1.
Basically, as the clues start pointing to one person, that person is going to become stronger and stronger, and more arrows are going to point to him or her. So
So Dave,
this is how a case is generally built. At the end of 6 weeks, you should have enough information to be able to say, yeah, we think we need to investigate or interview the following 3 people, and this is our prime suspect. And we should be able to put a hypotheses together of what actually happened. So we're really looking forward to you playing along with this game. You can enter the competition at forensicrestitution.com and look for the missing 8 million. And that will allow you to start playing.
so one thing you did say to me, Dave, you said that 1 week you might think it's Maya, the next week you might think it's Ethan. Is it normal to change your mind?
Yes, as you go through an investigation, you might originally think that it is one person, but they might only be a cog in the wheel. And so
Okay.
there might be other cogs that fall into the wheel, and there might be other people who are driving the fraud.
Okay,
So
so
you
your
might
mind can
pick up
change.
that, for instance, you might pick up that a vendor is a false vendor, which would definitely indicate the procurement person, because procurement's the person who loads vendors. But it might not be that. He might have been instructed by somebody senior to him to load that vendor. Or he might have been given false information by another party, maybe somebody in Treasury, to load that vendor. So there's a whole lot of other people who can come into play. So when you look at it just on the front line, you say, this is a person who's responsible. But as you dig deeper, you'll see that other shadowy characters start forming. And maybe this person actually disappears from the front into one of the other characters who was involved, but not necessarily the party who is responsible for the fraud.
And could it be 2 people, Dave? Could it be 3 people,
It
1
could be
people?
2, it could be 3, it could be all of it.
Okay, well, I'm pretty excited to see how this goes. A little bit of a tip for anyone watching this is that we're going to be dropping a few clues on our social media. So there'll be a few extra gems there for you. And this is week 1. We'll be posting it soon, and follow along for the rest of the 5-6 weeks.
We look forward to you playing with us.